Today I come to you with another Church of Tomorrow segment titled The Lie of Beauty and the Truth of Africa. I want you to keep some things in mind while I read these things to you. 300,000 years ago, Africans were the only human beings on earth. 60,000 years ago, Africans populated East Asia. 40,000 years ago, Africans populated West Asia. 6,000 years ago, civilization began in the Nile. Keep those things in mind, and if you got a problem, take it up with Anthony Browder. Do you trust that I speak the truth? I speak, I must. The ancestors of which I am a part of order me to speak before I bust, and as with all things return to dust. But the Spirit does not, because from the Creator I got. Therefore I cast my lot with my brethren on this very spot, from which Africa is not a dot, and from the fire in my belly is burning hot. So I live life while I plot to overcome slavery before I rot. Today I must speak the truth that has been buried beneath centuries of lies. I must speak truth to silence the mockery, to silence the ignorance, to silence those who dare to laugh at Africa, not realizing they laugh at the very source of their own existence. And that goes for us too. Let me be clear. Every human being alive today, every single one of us, traces their origin back to Africa. The mother of humanity is not pale, not blonde, not blue-eyed. She was dark, radiant, and African. The first spark of science, the first art, the first language, the first civilization. Africa gave it to the world. So how did we get here? How did the authors of humanity become the ones mocked as ugly, primitive, ape-like? How did those who invented beauty itself come to doubt their own reflection? It happened through design, through psychology, through conditioning. When Europeans arose from the caves and sought the wealth of the world, they encountered a people already advanced. They could not compete with truth, so they built a lie. They needed to conquer Africa land, its gold, its labor, its genius. But conquest requires justification. So they engineered a story. They wrote Africans out of history. They twisted religion to say Africans were cursed. They fabricated pseudoscience to declare Africans subhuman. And they hammered this message home for centuries until even Africans themselves began to see the world through European eyes. This is the psychology of domination. Convince the victim of their own inferiority, and you will never need change to hold them. But let's talk about beauty. In Africa, beauty was never just about a nose, an eye, or skin tone. Beauty was character. Beauty was wisdom. Beauty was how you treated your neighbor, how you carried your spirit, how you lived in harmony with the Creator and the community. Yet, Europeans flipped the script. They declared pale skin the standard, straight hair the ideal, light eyes the prize. They spread paintings of a white Jesus, blind angels, porcelain queens. For generations, they forced the world to look through a European lens. And that they called the Renaissance. And through that lens, even the children of Africa began to believe that their thick hair was bad, that their skin too dark, their lips too full. This is not by accident. This is the conditioning of a conquered mind. And let us address the insult. Ape. They mock Africa by comparing her children to apes. Remember, it's all children, forgetting that all humans share more than 98% of their DNA with apes. An ape calling an ape. They mocked dark skin, forgetting it was Africa's gift of melanin that allowed humanity to survive the blazing sun. They mocked full lips and coiled hair, forgetting that these are the original features of the human being. The irony is staggering. Those who insult are themselves carrying mutations of adaptations to cold climates, thin hair, pale skin, fragile bones, yet they declared those mutations the gold standard of beauty. They projected their insecurity onto Africa. They called cave features civilized and African features ugly. So I say this: the greatest trick the oppressor ever played was not chaining the body, but chaining the mind, to make a great people believe they were small, to make parents of humanity believe that they were children, to make the original, the prototype, the blueprint of mankind doubt their own reflection in the mirror. But the time of sleep is over. The time of blindness is over. The time of mockery is done. We must return to the truth. That the standard of beauty comes from Africa, because Africa is the parent of humanity. The true beauty is not in pale eyes or long hair, but the strength of your character, the fire of your spirit, the resilience of your people who have survived every chain, every whip, every lie. That what makes us beautiful is not just what the eye sees, but what the heart carries. To those who laugh at Africa, I say this: you laugh at your own mother and father. To those who call Africa ugly, I say this: you insult your own reflection. To those who bow to European standards, I say this: break the lens that blinds you and see yourself with the eyes of truth. And if you got nappy hair and dark skin, then you understand, love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love nobody else. Brothers and sisters, the lie was powerful. That lie was a powerful one. But the truth is eternal. And the truth is this: Africa was first. Africa is beautiful. Africa is humanity's beginning. And until we honor her, we will never see beauty in ourselves. To stand tall, walk proud, reject the conditioning, because the day you see beauty in yourself, the world will have no choice but to see it too. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you today, and I'm saying this on the back end of Jungle Love, which I know most of you couldn't understand, because you can't understand the love of somebody being from a jungle. But jungle had food. Jungle had want. The jungle had us. And you trying to separate yourself from the jungle is like the truth separating itself from the creator. You can't do it. Now, true beauty is not about your hair texture, eye color, or skin tone. It's about that character, intelligence, compassion, and the divine spark within. Let me tell you something. The greatest tragedy is not that others mock Africa, but that Africans and their descendants sometimes believe the lie in themselves. Liberation begins when we reject those imposed standards and see ourselves through the eyes of truth, not propaganda. So if you want to be a black American, you want to be a black Indian, you want to be everything but what you truly are, and everybody on this earth is. So keep lying to yourself. You stand over there in the corner and put a dunce cap on your head, because the rest of us are going to walk in truth.